Represent us for inside government where. Some vote, others do election observers, some serve the polling officers. But it never finish, oh. Make we come together, arrange or join association where we go fit discuss matter where go make we lives better, go give the people where we vote for inside government. Make we get involved.
A classico, I tell you, like 3 points is clear.
Yes.
Eh? They go watch match.
Okay, what do you want me to do about it?
Give us light.
That's the only thing you've been saying since you came into my office.
Maybe your work be that.
No, it's my work, but see.
Our government fit do their work if we sef do our own work. No just sit down. Carry wetin dey worry you go meet who suppose solve am.
Yes.
If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help.
President Buhari in New York ahead of opening of United Nations General Assembly.
The National Defense College is pleased to host this important conference, which adds up to the series of activities that seek to test the capability of the ECOWAS Standby Force.
Sustaining ECOWAS operational capability, command reviews rapid deployment strategies.
We must resist all attempts by the rapacious elite to make justice a commercial commodity.
And Nigerian judiciary commits to speedy determination of cases, just as 30 new silks take the oath. A warm welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Joseph Johnson in Abuja. Also reading with me tonight is Jennifer Igwe in Lagos, and Suleiman Abdullahi Rikachukung is in Kaduna. Good to see you both, and thanks for your company. Now, we begin in the United States of America because President Muhammadu Buhari is in New York ahead of his address to the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. State House correspondent Adam Samba reports that this is the 4th time the president will be addressing the world's largest diplomatic gathering since coming to power.
President Muhammadu Buhari, accompanied by his wife Aisha Buhari, arrived JFK International Airport, New York, at about 7:30 Sunday evening local time. On hand to receive him were Nigeria's permanent representatives to the United Nations, Professor Tijani Bande, Nigeria's ambassador to the United States, Silvanus Nsofo, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the National Security Advisor, and some other senior government officials. And as the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly formally convenes on Tuesday, President Muhammadu Buhari is scheduled to present Nigeria's national statement in line with the theme for this year, making the United Nations relevant to all people, global leadership, and shared responsibilities for peaceful, equitable, and sustainable societies. He is expected to reaffirm the nation's commitment to, among others, international peace and security, sustainable socio-economic development, climate change, rule of law, and human rights. The Nigerian leader will particularly canvass international support for the fight against corruption, the return of illicit assets, counter-terrorism and insurgency, curbing irregular migration, resettling IDPs, as well as recharging the receding Lake Chad.
You don't have a global stage larger than the United Nations. So when a president can address the world through the United Nations platform, he better bring everything that is very important to him and to his country. But the significant thing for the Nigerian president this year is that he will not only be talking about Nigerian issues, he will be talking about ECOWAS issues, because he's chairman of ECOWAS, so everything that affects the sub-region he can bring up at this global forum now. So those issues will continue to be talked about till we have progress made on them. And I think in the past 3 years, this is the fourth outing that the president has been talking about those issues. I believe we are not where we were 4 years ago on those matters.
During the course of his week-long stay in New York, the Nigerian president will, apart from attending several other side events, is also expected to have bilateral meetings with African and world leaders, including Bill Gates, with a view to promoting national, sub-regional, and African interests.
You know, Nigeria has rediscovered herself and has got its place back in the Committee of Nations. There was a time that other countries drew back from Nigeria, but Nigeria is in the warm embrace of almost every part of the world now. So it's a deepening of that relationship. And as our president meets other presidents, you can be sure that everything that is important to Nigeria will be brought up, particularly those three things that are key to him. Fighting insurgency, uniting the nation, securing the nation, and then reviving our economy, and then fighting corruption. So any meeting he holds, those three issues always come up, and they are for the good of Nigeria.
President Buhari will also grant audience to a select group of Nigerian professionals based in the United States. From New York, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, who accompanied her husband, President Muhammadu Buhari, to New York for the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly, will also be engaged with the spouses of other world leaders on issues surrounding the need for the enhancement of the lives of women and children. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
The wife of the president, who accompanied her husband, President Muhammadu Buhari, for the week-long activities of the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly, is expected to be engaged fully in the activities of the spouses of the world leaders at the sideline of the assembly. This includes her meeting with the wives of the African leaders at their 21st summit of the Organization of African First Ladies Against HIV/AIDS, AFLA, focusing attention towards eliminating of mother-to-child transmission of HIV in Africa. She is also expected to deliver an address during the high-level stakeholders meeting on the fight against tuberculosis at the Global Ambassador of Stop TB Partnership, among other engagements.
She is also going to present a keynote address in one of the very important sessions, which after Mr. President participation in the morning, in the evening she is going to also address the Congress on tuberculosis. She's also expected to be given an award by the Global Women Empowerment Movement here in the United States on her achievements on what she's doing in Nigeria. And she is meeting other First Lady, like the First Lady of Turkey, as well as the First Lady of the Republic of Niger, to discuss issues about the women empowerment, the retention of girls in school, and also to improve the girl education generally in Africa.
Mrs. Buhari is expected to leave New York for Nigeria on the 29th of September. From New York City, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
Back home now, global experts are in Abuja working on a common front against human trafficking and migrant smuggling. The participants are from about 70 countries. The 6th Interpol Global Conference on Human Trafficking and Migrant Smuggling is, among other things, aimed towards providing global view on current threats and trends, the financial flows behind the crimes, the crucial role of cross-sector partnerships, how to overcome obstacles, as well as the use of technology and data in investigation. In his message to the conference, President Muhammadu Buhari pointed out that unless nations fight corruption, the people's commonwealth in developing countries like Nigeria will end up in private pockets, exposing youth to poverty and vulnerability to trafficking.
Collaborative efforts of our relevant security agencies have resulted in several interceptions, arrests, and prosecution of traffickers and smugglers.
Nigeria remains steadfast in its commitment to address human trafficking and people smuggling, and I would like to commend the progress it has made in contributing to the Interpol Global Early Warning System.
The Nigerian police have been at the forefront in the fight against this menace, and its commitment is demonstrated.
Director General, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, calls for a collaborative effort to fight the ugly trend.
People are becoming more aware, and it means that we're winning the fight against trafficking.
The conference continues on Tuesday. Now, the move by ECOWAS to sustain the full operational capability of the region's standby force through rapid deployment has been identified as key towards maintaining peace and security in the region. This is coming from the Commandant National Defense College, Rear Admiral Adeni Oshunowo, at the ECOWAS Command Post Exercise Planning Conference in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
The conference aims to coordinate and plan for the command post exercise codenamed Jigui 4 and review of work completed since the initial planning conference. Emphasis will also be on the exercise scenario, control, timeline, technical assessment towards achieving robust deliberations and strategies to sustain the ECOWAS standby force full operational capability.
The National Defense College is pleased to host this important conference, which adds up to the series of activities that seek to test the capability of the ECOWAS standby force in conducting strategic and operational level planning and multi-dimensional peace support operations.
Using our regional expertise, building on our training centers of excellence, the experts who are facilitating the work to us, and our own staff within the Commission.
The ECOWAS Peace Support Operation Division is formed by the planning element at the strategic level with 4 components: military component, police component, civilian component, and mission support component, working together to have multidimensional peace operations in our region.
The conference is part of recommendations of the Maputo 5-year strategic work plan on the African Standby Force. From the National Defense College in Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
A comprehensive geo-information map showing areas of threat to national security is being to be generated for the military. Minister of Defense Mansour Dan Ali stated this while playing host to the office of the Survey General of the Federation in Abuja. Mio Gidi reports.
Just like ants coming out from a wood, advancing to the enemy's camp to conquer. But in achieving this comes extensively with tactical work and knowing the terrain. This, for the Minister of Defense, is critical in winning the war against insurgency in Nigeria. So, a map especially indicating such flashpoints in national boundaries is paramount.
You cannot fight any war without knowing your position and the position of the enemy. So you almost cover every defense, security, corruption, and the economy too. So the 3 cardinal principles rest in your office, and your office is being sidelined.
But in the issue of drones, we are putting some already. The one in Kebbi is working.
We're putting another one in Castina, putting other ones in Yobe and Borno states.
Barely a week after this interagency partnership, the Surveyor General is leading a team to the boundary of Nigeria and Niger Republic for the assignment. The boundary, which is located in Daura, Katsina State, compelled the team to alert the community of their mission, and a map showing the ancient city of Daura was presented to the Emirate Council.
This is the first time this technology has come to Nigeria. Our staffs will come to take name by name of every street. Thereafter, we will now produce the final map showing the names.
The mapping exercise is expected to cover all parts of the country. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Turning to the judiciary now, where 30 more legal practitioners have been elevated as senior advocates of Nigeria, bringing to 521 the number of legal practitioners that have been appointed since the rank was created in 1974. They were sworn in by the Chief Justice of Nigeria as part of the activities marking the commencement of the 2018-2019 legal year. Femi Okewo reports.
On the 12th of July, the Legal Practitioners Privileges Committee appointed 31 legal practitioners into the inner bar of the legal profession in Nigeria. But just before their conferment, one of them, Ikide Ehigiola, just last week was dropped for unprofessional conduct. Now the 30 others have been sworn in, with the Chief Justice of Nigeria reminding them of their duties to the promotion of the nation's justice system.
We must resist all attempts by the rapacious elite to make justice a commercial commodity.
There are quite a number of striking names, particularly among the appointees in the academia. Among them is the Director General of the Nigerian Law School, Professor Issa Hayatu Chiroma, Vice Chancellor, Lagos State University, Professor Olarewaju Fagbon, Professor Wahab Egbewole, a former Dean of Law in the University of Ilorin, and Olabode Olutoyin Olanipekun. She's not just the only woman to be so conferred. She is the first Nigerian female to be conferred in the academic rank as a senior advocate of Nigeria, Professor Luyemisi Bangboche. How do you feel with this?
I'm glad, and I know that with God on one side, with hard work, with diligence, it is always possible.
In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, in Nigeria's journey for an improved democratic culture as the nation approaches the 2019 general elections, the judicial arm of government has promised to ensure its independence and stricter timelines for the determination of cases. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onnoghen, stated this at the commencement of the 2018-2019 legal year of the Supreme Court. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo again reports.
The annual calendar of the Nigerian judiciary ends in July of a year, while another year begins in September. The 2018-2019 legal year leads into a general election year, and while the judiciary must continuously run as it has normally done, particular attention is being placed on the evolution of the nation's democracy, which is why the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onnoghen, at the opening of the new legal year promised that administration of justice will be strengthened.
Continue to play the role of independent, dispassionate arbiter without fear or favor, affection, or ill will.
Minister of Justice, in his message, commended the performance of the nation's courts, but called for a review of the vacation system of the nation's judiciary.
Of the capacity of the judicial arm to constantly renew and transform itself through a periodic review of its system and processes. I hope my suggestion will therefore be treated as an input to the internal process.
Other speakers called for a strengthening of the judiciary for the benefit of the nation's polity.
The temple of justice must not be sullied or degraded by and with unproven, often malicious and baseless allegations and innuendos.
Investors, especially foreign investors, first consideration for deciding whether or not to invest the reliability and efficiency of the judicial system of the country.
All personalities in the nation's judiciary are well aware of the fact that 2018-2019 legal year is bound to be very critical in the nation's quest for its political development. It is in that light that they are all concerned about the contribution of the judiciary for the nation's political and economic development. From the Supreme Court, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Thank you, Femi. Well, do stay with us here on NTA Network News. We're back in just a moment.
Hello, Niger.
It's a beautiful day.
And now it's time for some amazing music.
Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back.
Who is it?
What are you searching for?
With Glow Yakata, for every recharge, they'll give you 22 times the amount to call all the networks.
What? So if I load 100 Naira, they will give me 2,200 Naira?
Exactly! And that's not all. They're also giving up to 6 gigabytes of data every month for 6 whole months.
Wow! That's incredible!
Yes!
Are you sure? 22 times on every recharge?
Yup.
Found it! Found it! That's it!
Glow Yakata. Get up to 6 gigabytes of data every month for 6 months and 2,200 Naira bonus for every 100 Naira recharge. The call all networks where talkers and browsers live.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
The tastiest blue band with vitamins A, D, E, B6, B12, folic acid, and niacin. So important for kids' growth and development.
You can tell they're from a blue band home.
Spread every slice and give your kids the vitamins they need.
Well, when I was growing up, it wasn't an easy thing for us because my parents were struggling. That's why when I started playing basketball, I need to play, I need to struggle, I need to achieve. I want to make something out of it. I graduated from the Milo Secondary School Games to the Senior League. Then they called me that I should come and play Junior World Cup qualifiers. Following year, I was invited to the senior national team. I've been awarded as the most valuable player 5 times. My teammates, they made it possible. Basketball gave me the opportunity to have my own basketball camp, giving back to the society. Because you know what you've passed through. I need to show the kids that basketball really changed my life. My name is Nkechi, and this is our journey.
Nestle, good food, good life.
The Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Honorable Abubakar Bawa Buhari, invites commissioners, permanent secretaries of relevant ministries, and other stakeholders in the minerals and metals sector to the second edition of the National Council on Mining and Minerals Resources Development with the theme, Minerals and Metals Sector, Frontier for National Economic Diversification, which is to be hosted by the Kaduna State Government. Date, 2nd to 4th October 2018. Venue, Hotel 17, Conference Hall, number 16, Lafia Street, Kaduna. Time 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Memoranda of not more than 5 pages in both hard and soft copies are hereby invited from stakeholders on the following topics. The memoranda should be submitted on or before Wednesday, 26th September 2018 to the Office of the Director, PRS, Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, Wusetu, Abuja. For further inquiries, please call 0806-538-2868. Dr. Abdul Kadri Muhazu, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
In Nigeria, there is one sound we need to silence. So let's silence toothache before it starts with Oral-B all-round protection. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because the only sound we really want to hear is that of our future. For healthier, stronger teeth in 1 week.
All right, kids. Today you're all going to tell me how you all spent your holidays. So the essay will be... Who did that? Who did that?
Smiling faces everywhere.
Share in the fun and excitement of the new school session with great tasting Indomie noodles. Hurry now and get yours. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Every new day deserves a great taste for a great start with Nescafe 3-in-1. It all starts with a Nescafe.
Glad to have you with us. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the federal government will ensure adequate compensation of flood victims. The Vice President made the promise in Kogi State in continuation of his visit to flood-ravaged states across the country. Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, said as soon as the water recedes, government will initiate deliberate policy that will bring a lasting solution to the perennial flood disaster in the country. While commiserating with the government and people of Kogi State, the Vice President said President Muhammadu Buhari is touched by the plight of the victims.
We have taken a look at many of the flood stats and very clear that a lot of damage has been done. A lot of damage to farmland, a lot of damage to houses. And it is the intention of the federal government working with the state government to ensure that when the flood waters recede, we are able to offer some rehabilitation and some comfort in whatever way possible to those who have lost their farmlands and those who have lost their homes.
Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello thanked the federal government for the support and commitment in alleviating the plight of the victims, promised to continue to complement federal government efforts in disaster management. The Vice President was accompanied by the Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Mehadja. Available statistics by NEMA shows that over 80 people have so far been displaced and more than 40 persons lost their lives in the 9 local governments affected by floods in Kogi State. From Cotton Karfe, Kogi State, Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
4,000 Federal Road Safety Corps applicants are expected to be recruited nationwide this year. Now, this is out of the 324,000 applicants shortlisted nationwide for ongoing recruitment screening exercise. Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi made this known while inspecting the screening exercise at the National Stadium and Mogadishu Barrack Centers in Abuja. Correspondent Mitari Ben has more.
Applicants for the Federal Road Safety Corps gathered here at the National Stadium for the physical and credentials screening exercise. Ifoma Benjamin is one of the many applicants. She's optimistic of her chances.
I've been applying severally for a federal government job. I really thank God for this opportunity that we had.
Like Ifoma, this would appear as a lifetime opportunity for many of the applicants here to be productively engaged. It's the same scenario here at the Mogadishu Barracks. The orderly conduct of the screening exercise marks a departure from the norm, a development the Corps Marshal attributes to proper planning.
In some centers where we will have a large number of applicants, we have 2 centers, and it's going on smoothly, and you can see the crowd control.
Though the population is high and the response to the people is good.
Corps Marshal Oyeyemi, however, warned unqualified applicants against showing up at the screening centers.
There are some pregnant women, there are some who are over age, there are some yourself, you've seen their shots, so they didn't meet the requirement.
Like the proverbial saying that many are called but few are chosen, fortune may not yet smile on many of the applicants, but like Ifoma, most of them remain resolute in the pursuits of their dreams. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Let's go over to some political matters now. The All Progressives Congress APC Campaign Council for the 2018 Osun governorship election has described as excessive grandstanding the call by the PDP for INEC to declare its candidate in the polls as the winner. A statement signed by the chairman of the council's media committee, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, noted that local and foreign observers have commended INEC and the security agencies for a well-organized election and decried the PDP's protest after INEC announced that the election was inconclusive. He said rather than resort to threats, the PDP could either go to court or decide not to participate in the supplementary election of September 27th. The council commended the people of Osun State for deepening the nation's democracy in an orderly manner all through the election process last Saturday and urged voters in the areas to be covered by the supplementary election to also ensure a peaceful process on Thursday. Now, ahead of the primaries of the All Progressives Congress APC, the national chairman of the party, Adams Oshomole, has declared that the party will not field candidates he described as opportunists who are seeking to use the platform of the party to achieve their selfish interest. Ifeanyi Ezumba compiled the report.
A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the National Chairman, Simon Ibwebulem, quotes Adams Oshomole as saying that the party has learned from the mistakes of the past, where people he described as bread and butter politicians were given tickets to fly the flag of the party. It was when the national chairman was addressing members of the screening committee, citing the example of defection of the Senate President and the Speaker, House of Representatives. Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress has stated that the vote-buying template introduced by the PDP and brazenly deployed in the Osun inconclusive election is an urgent threat to democracy and current efforts to ensure the sanctity of elections in the country. A statement signed by the party's acting National Publicity Secretary, Yekini Nabena, indicated that the aftermath of Saturday's inconclusive Osun State governorship election has confirmed the People's Democratic Party's desperate ploy to rig all coming elections, starting from the Osun State governorship election. The statement adds that PDP's public rigging method, particularly vote buying and dissemination of diversionary fake news, must be checked, calling on the electorate, civil society organizations and relevant stakeholders to speak out and resist the PDP's retrogressive plans, which threatens our democracy, reiterating that the people's will and vote is supreme and must be respected and defended. In the meantime, the presidential direct primary election of the All Progressive Congress, earlier scheduled for Tuesday, September 25th, 2018, will now hold on Friday, September 28th, 2018. A statement signed by the acting National Publicity Secretary of the party, Yekini Nabena, says the change in date is to avoid clash in dates with the Osun State governorship rerun election and to enable all registered party members in the 36 states and Federal Capital Territory to participate in the exercise.
Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrila has called on the people of Adamawa State to support the second-term bid of President Muhammadu Buhari for the restoration of peace and other developmental projects in the state. Rayanu Bala reports that the governor was interacting with APC delegates ahead of the party primaries.
These are the delegates from the Central Zone who are expected to nominate the presidential and governorship aspirants as well as their representatives under the All Progressives Congress. Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrila, while addressing them, said President Muhammadu Buhari has all the leadership qualities and the interests of masses at heart, hence they should support him. He explained that developing critical infrastructures across the country and the zero tolerance on corruption are some of the great achievements recorded by the president and should be given another chance. Muhammad Jibrila also called on the delegates to re-elect him during the nomination for continued development in all sectors. The Bindeo Buhari campaign coordinator in the Central Zone, Muhammad Badkinto Mustafa, who expressed satisfaction with the leadership of both President Muhammadu Buhari and Muhammad Jibrila, promised to mobilize support for them. Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrilla also met with delegates at the southern senatorial zone of the state, where he reiterated the need to vote for President Muhammadu Buhari because of the restoration of peace in Adamawa State. In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the Buhari Friends organization has called on the Akwa Ibom youth to support the governorship ambition of Senator James Udodege in 2019 general elections. The event followed solidarity rally for President Muhammadu Buhari held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Hakim Dairo monitored the event and our reports.
The rally had in attendance APC chieftains across the state who commended President Muhammadu Buhari's developmental stride in building a better Nigeria. They applauded the fight against corruption, economic gains in the last 3 years, and expanded infrastructural development to meet the yearnings of the citizenry.
We need a steady hand, an honest hand, all hands to the plow to return us to our vision and build on General Muhammadu Buhari's anti-corruption fight. The next 4 years of his presidency is crucial for Akwa Ibom State.
You want to elect him again? Our president has nothing to do with corruption. Therefore, he cannot promote corruption.
An aspect of the event was the presentation of the factors into the All Progressives Congress APC.
And that was Akinde Olaleye's voice and not Hakim Dairo, as earlier reported. Controversy surrounding the choice of venue for the People's Democratic Party Special National Convention is still raging as the party inaugurated the convention committee. Timothy Yusuf reports that the governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, is chairman of the committee.
PDP Deputy National Chairman South, Yemi Akinwumi, inaugurated a special convention committee on behalf of the party's national chairman, Uche Secondos. The choice of Dr. Okowa as chairman of the committee, he explained, was based on his satisfactory performance during the party's December 9, 2017 national convention that produced the present National Working Committee members. On the convention venue, the Deputy National Chairman speaks on the possible venue for the convention.
We set up a committee headed by a senior partyman, Ambassador Kaswauri, and they went around the South-South zone and South-East zone before coming out with the choice of Port Harcourt for us.
Chairman of the convention committee, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, however, assured party members that all areas of disagreement will be resolved before the national convention.
We are very mindful of the importance of this assignment that has been given to us.
The PDP special convention is scheduled for the first week of October 2018 in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Let's now take a breather from here as we join Jennifer in Lagos for the next set of reports. Jennifer?
Thank you, Joseph. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. The federal government is promising more investor-friendly policies to further stimulate economic growth. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, says the aviation industry is key in actualizing this goal. Michael Olaleye reports.
The facility, equipped with state-of-the-art technology, is a joint initiative of a local hospitality outfit and an international partner. Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, says it is capable of creating 400 jobs either directly or through the value chain. The minister was optimistic that demand for local farm produce by the facility will encourage indigenous farmers to develop their capacity to meet international standards.
This facility has the capacity to also generate foreign exchange for this country. At the same time, it gives us opportunity for technological transfer. And not to talk about the value chain in agriculture, logistics, that this facility is going to generate.
Lai Mohammed stressed the potentials in the aviation industry and assured that governments will complement various reforms to make traveling a more pleasurable experience.
We have eliminated the passenger service charge sticker. Thus, we are able to reduce additional checks while traveling, especially on the domestic route.
The in-flight catering organization says they are working with local farmers.
We're going to try as much as possible to develop our local farmers and be able to patronize them.
In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian Air Force has commissioned its remodeled forensic facility and a new Provost Investigation Service headquarters in Lagos. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, who commissioned the facility, says the police force looks forward to interagency collaboration with the Air Force to make the best use of the forensic laboratory. Ime Odori compiled the report.
The footprint of the Nigerian Air Force is spreading into all areas of security towards keeping the nation safe. The new forensic laboratory is to facilitate the application of forensic evidence in crime investigation. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, says the last time provost personnel were trained in forensic investigation was 30 years ago.
The Nigerian Air Force is also at the advanced stage of expanding and enhancing its utilization of military working dogs to boost the physical security of critical mission essential areas.
Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris, who inaugurated the facilities, said it will improve crime-fighting resources in Nigeria.
It is a testimony of the Nigerian Air Force leadership's commitment to push the boundaries and improve on the methodologies and technological platforms to detect and analyze evidence of crime in the service.
The Air Force is partnering with a foreign agency on the project with training for its personnel.
We're trying to ensure that the best evidence is collected from a crime scene to ensure that the correct person is put away for their crimes.
The lab is open to all security agencies in the country.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Nigerian Shippers Council, under the auspices of the Federal Ministry of Transportation in collaboration with the Union of African Shippers Council, UASC, and United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, announces a sub-regional workshop on joint standing committee meeting with the theme, Port Concession in West and Central Africa, Impact on Economies of Member States of the Sub-Region. The meeting is scheduled to start on Tuesday 25th to Wednesday 26th September 2018, 9 a.m. daily at Sheraton Hotel, Abuja, Nigeria. For further inquiries, please contact 002-302-7112, 003-323-6106. Announcer, Management.
On those days I can't sit in the front row, worried that my tissue will show. Sit in the front row, don't worry. Your success is definitely worth it. Always absorbs anyhow you move. No stay, no check for up to 8 hours. I'll sit in the front row and pass a retest. Sit in the front row and work on my head. Your success is worth it, my daughter. Stay happy always.
The management of National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, wished to inform the public that reports from NIWA gauge stations nationwide indicates that due to the high level of water as a result of continuous rainfall and dam overflow, many states will be experiencing more flood disasters. For rescue measures, the authority has arranged a rescue team with boats in our area offices nationwide for evacuating people. The following numbers can be contacted for any emergency. NIWA announcer.
Darling, what's the matter? It's your birthday. Guests are already waiting at the pool.
It's headache, cold, pains all over my body.
Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet contains powerful ingredients specially prepared to bring you fast relief from headache, body ache, cough, flu, cold, and fever. Baby, how are you feeling now?
Wow, I feel great thanks to Cold Time Tablet.
Cold Time Tablet also available with syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, a quality product from Embassy Pharmaceutical and Chemicals Limited. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, your visa to healthy living.
I need a product that I can really trust to restore my skin's natural glow.
Nivea Natural Fairness Body Lotion containing unique berry extracts and UV protection to restore your natural glow and care for your skin.
Hello, here to pick up your sister? Mommy? Wow, such beautiful glowing skin.
Reveal your natural glow with Natural Fairness Body Lotion from Nivea.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Ever since he could hold a bat, Charles wanted to play like his big brother. Victor had skills that matched the best in the land. Never mind, little brother, drink your Dano milk and keep practicing. So that is what he did. And step by step, glass by glass, the boy grew in spirit and strength. Drink your Dano milk and be strong.
Also available in Dano Cool Cow, Dano Slim, and Dano Flavored Milk. Choose Dano, choose goodness.
You're watching NTA Network News, and we are back in Abuja. Former Nigeria Airways staff have a cause to smile with the latest releases by the federal government to settle arrears, as the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation says stakeholders have no claim to funds. Let's join Musa Abubakar for more on business news.
A warm welcome to Business News. The federal government has released 22.68 billion naira for former Nigerian Airways staff. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, made a disclosure at a meeting with the retirees and said a committee has been set up with the Director, Presidential Initiative on Continuous Audit, Mohammed Kari Ikwa, as head to verify the names on the existing list before any payment can be made.
To the Union of the Nigerian Airways, thank you for your understanding, for your patience over these 14-15 years. Despite the hardships you have gone through, you have actually indeed been very patient. Mr. President is concerned about your flight. That is why this process is being driven very, very quickly.
She added that another 20 billion naira has been approved for immediate release to public universities through the revitalization scheme to ensure smooth running of the tertiary system in the country. Following the emergence of Polaris Bank, Managing Director of the Nigerian Deposits Insurance Corporation, Omar Ibrahim, says investigations have begun into the circumstances that led to the mismanagement of the now-defunct Sky Bank, and those found liable will be prosecuted.
They are responsible for their actions, and they are responsible for the loss of the bank. You know, if you invest in any entity, you have to be aware of what is happening, and you have to do everything possible to ensure that the directors you put there behave responsibly and are able and capable and have what it takes to run the business. Otherwise, you have yourself to blame.
Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has assured depositors that it is working with all regulatory agencies to ensure that banks do not fail and jobs are protected. Director of Corporate Communications, Isaac Okarafo, says authorities have a duty to protect citizens from shocks.
I want to also re-emphasize it, that the Nigerian banking system is healthy, it is resilient, and we as regulators, we are monitoring every move. If there is any little sign of distress, we will move in and take appropriate action.
The Nigerian stock market got off on a slow start Monday with a 0.31% decline of the all-share index. It ended the session at 32,440.17 points, and market capitalization closed at 11.847 trillion naira. That's it on Business News. I am Musa Abubakar.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent his warm birthday wishes to the Orogun of Okeila, Oba Adedokun Abolarin, as he clocks 60, President Muhammadu Buhari extolled the monarch, who has excelled as a teacher and legal practitioner and also doing a great job as a traditional ruler in uniting the people. The president praised that God will grant him long life, sound health and more wisdom. Time now to join Suleiman in our Kaduna Network Center. Suleiman, it's over to you.
And a warm welcome to Kaduna. Succor is coming the way of flood victims in Jigawa State as the state government begins distribution of relief materials to cushion their hardship. Awal Muhammad Kazauri reports that Governor Muhammad Badaru Abubakar has paid sympathy visit to the affected areas.
People of Hadejia and Ringim Emirates are the worst hit by the flood disaster, destroying farmlands and rendering thousands of residents homeless. Leading a team of State Flood Assessment Committee in company of the Chairman, State Council of Chiefs and the Emir of Hadejia, Alhaji Adamu Abubakar Maji, the Deputy Governor, handed over foodstuff and cooking utensils to the victims as an immediate relief measures.
The priority now is to try to prevent communicable disease such as cholera by providing emergency boreholes and hand pumps and then supplying clean drinking water to those areas.
Meanwhile, Governor Muhammad Badaru Abubakar has appealed to the federal government to come to the aid of the state because of the devastation caused by the disaster. The governor was on sympathy visit to all the affected communities. In Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazauri, NTA News.
Federal government is worried over the failure of previous attempts to integrate Almajiri education into the formal school system. To this end, stakeholders from the 9 pilot states across the country have met in Kano to address the past mistakes that inhibit the realization of the program. Fatima Sanusi-Karai has the details.
It is a common phenomenon for underage children to depend on the benevolence of the society through begging to keep body and soul together. While these children are denied access to modern education, they are constantly facing numerous social challenges and abuses. The Al-Majri system started from time immemorial as part of tradition to acquire Islamic education. However, statistics show there are 10 million Al-Majri roaming streets across the country, and that number, according to experts, may increase by 2020. Abba, a 10-year-old who hails from Katsina State, is among the 10 million Al-Majri forced to beg. This problem compelled the federal government to establish 157 model Islamia schools and support more than 200 existing Islamias in the country. To achieve this, stakeholders converge on Kano for a workshop to provide technical assistance and support for the implementation of the Islamia, Quranic, and Sangaya education. Participants hope that with this renewed commitment of the present administration, these children who are denied the right to education will stand a better chance. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi-Karai, NTA News.
Thank you, Fatima. And with that report, it's back to you, Joseph, for more on the network news.
Thank you, Suleiman. And now let's just quickly take another break. Stay with us.
On Tuesday Live this week, we shall be beaming our searchlight on the Industrial Training Fund and how it has fared in ensuring skill acquisition for jobs creation. Tuesday Live at 10:30 every Tuesday promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
Let Malta goodness fuel your greatness. Let's go.
I need a product that I can really trust to restore my skin's natural glow.
Nivea Natural Fairness Body Lotion containing unique berry extracts and UV protection to restore your natural glow and care for your skin.
Hello, here to pick up your sister? Mommy? Wow, such beautiful glowing skin.
Reveal your natural glow with Natural Fairness Body Lotion from Nivea.
brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah? I was
you take that one. Yeah, take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
no other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice.
Are you sorry?
That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Mobu to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
And now let's get the very latest happenings in the world of sports with Amanzi Marcus.
The 28-year-old British boxer on Saturday in Spain had a combined punches which landed like torrents.
Was rolled. Let's